Hi everyone. I saw this, thought it was an oldie but a goodie. Rumpelstilskin. Long ago, a humble village, there lived a poor miller. His wife had died years before, and he had nothing in the world but his beautiful, kind daughter, Eveline. He loved her so dearly that he told fantastic tales about her to everyone he met. My daughter can reach up and make pictures with the stars. My daughter can turn a weed into a rose with a kiss. My daughter can spin straw into pure gold thread. Oh, Papa, Eveline sighed. The townspeople chuckled, knowing that the miller was just being fanciful. But somehow a rumor escaped and wended its way across the country until it crept into the ears of the king. He was a greedy and callous man, and as soon as he heard this rumor, he commanded his soldiers, "Bring me the girl who can spin straw into gold." Eveline and her father were just finishing breakfast when soldiers burst into their hut to drag Eveline away, hefting her into a wagon and carting her to the castle. There she was forced up a dizzying staircase to a tiny room at the top of the tower. A dusty old spinning wheel squatted in one corner. The rest of the room was piled almost waist high with mounds of straw. She had scarcely caught her breath when the fierce figure of the king appeared. "Spin all this straw into gold by morning, or you'll never see your father again," the king snorted, and he locked Eveline in the room. Her father's silly boast, "She can spin straw into gold," flashed through Eveline's mind, and she wept to think that such a trifle might keep her from him forever. The only thing that cheered her was a swallow with blue and rust plumage building a straw nest on the stone wall. "Won't anyone help me?" she whispered to the bird. Suddenly, Eveline felt a strange tingling in the air, like pins on her skin, and out of nowhere appeared a wartly, ugly little man. "I'll help you transform this straw into gold, my dear, but what will you give me in return?" the gnome said. "I can give you my necklace, which was my father saved for years to buy," she said. He seized the necklace, sat down in the spinning wheel, and with surprising deftness threaded the straw into the spindle, whipping it into the shimmering gold thread. Guys, magician. He finished the pile just as the swallow left its nest for the day. Then, as mysteriously as he come, he disappeared. Soon after, the king opened the tower door, and Eveline's heart soared with hope. But rather than quench his greed, the gold only made the king thirsty for more. "Come with me," he commanded, grabbing Eveline. He led her down from the first tower, then up an even taller staircase into a room twice as large as the first and mounted chest high with straw. "Demonstrate your talents again, and I'll consider letting you return to your father," the king said, looking at the door. The swallow flew through the window and sat about constructing a new nest in the eaves of the tower. Soon Eveline felt the same prickle in the air and heard the crackling voice of the gnome. "This is no problem for me," he said, "but I'll need compensation." "The ring is all I have from my mother," said Eveline, slipping off the ring. "She died when I was a baby." Even faster than before, the little man whipped fistfuls of straw through the spinning wheel, wrapping them into pure, shimmering gold thread. He finished and disappeared just as the swallow opened its liquid black eyes and stretched its wings. When the king saw the second treasure, he let out a great rolling laugh. As frost freezes a flower, so this last froze Eveline's hope. Without a word, the king dragged her up and up to the highest tower in the castle. Inside was an enormous room, the size of a barn, filled to her chin with straw. "If you spin this whole room, I'll be the richest king on earth, and I will truly let you go," the king declared, locking the door behind him. Eveline wept. She did not believe the king, and besides, she had nothing more to give the little man. Soon she heard the skipping song of the swallow, which flew in the window and roosted its rafters of an enormous room. As the stars began to shine, a shiver came over Eveline, and she turned to find the hideous little man standing there. "You had better have something precious to pay me with, missy." Eveline's voice shook as she stammered, "I have nothing left." He paused to think. "Very well," he said. "You may repay me when you're grown." Eveline felt something ominous, like a cold stone in the bottom of her stomach, but she told herself that she could save up money and buy some selling eggs, and she agreed. The little man labored fiercely all night, swearing and muttering as he spun. The sun was nearly up, and the swallow had preened all its feathers before he finished and disappeared. When the king unlocked the door, Eveline sank to her knees and wept. Sure, she would only imprison her again, but instead, the king ordered his soldiers to bring Eveline home. Eveline's father was so ecstatic at her return, he leaped on the table, danced, and invited all the townspeople for a feast. After many hugs and kind words, Eveline nearly forgot the whole ordeal. Years went by. Eveline grew up, married the innkeeper's son, and was soon overjoyed to welcome a baby boy. Now she understood her father's silly delight all those years. "My son can turn a frog into a swan with a single touch," Eveline sang. "My son can reach up and paint the clouds pink and gold." Though her family now had money, she continued to hoard over a spare coin in the little blue purse. One day, as Eveline gathered eggs, she felt a familiar prickling in the air. She whipped around and saw the ugly gnome. "Hello, my dear," he said, smiling his clever smile. "Do you remember your promise to me at the high tower all those years ago? I've come to collect my payment." Eveline felt the same stone chill in her stomach. She stammered, "I've saved quite a little bundle. Let me fetch my purse." "Oh, no, dear, I don't want your coins. In payment for my favor, I require your firstborn child." No. Devastation came down on Eveline like a thunderbolt. She threw herself to the ground, pleading and begging. "You didn't tell me. You didn't warn me. Anything but my son." The little man sighed. "I suppose I wasn't entirely fair. So I'll make you a deal. I'll give you 3 days to guess my name. If you can keep your child, and you will never see me again. But if you cannot, your son is mine." With a spin, he disappeared. At once, Eveline, her father, and family, and the entire town began combing the land for every name they ever heard. That night, when the little man arrived, Eveline read from a list from the table onto the floor. Adam, Andrew, Alex. No. Eveline read on until she reached the last 3 names. Zed, Zachary, Sephar. No, and no again, he cackled, already fading into thin air. "You have 2 more days." Word spread, and the villagers enlisted help from all across the land, searching for strange names, foreign names, names of long-dead kings and legends. Alfonso, Adoran, Asgaroth. Not even close. Sunidich, Zanzibar, Zoltan. "You have 1 more day before I take the child," the little man said, then evaporated. By the 3rd day, Eveline began to lose hope. She sat by her son's cradle, murmuring wordlessly. Just before evening, a flutter near the window drew her eye. It was a swallow with blue and rust plumage, like the one from the tower 2 years ago. It hopped onto the sill, chittering softly. When Eveline leaned close, she gasped. The swallow was speaking. "I flew over the mountains where I saw a little man in a little hollow by a little fire. He danced and sang this little song. Eveline's child I'll surely win unless she guesses Rumpelstilskin." Before Eveline could thank the swallow, it flew off in the gathering dusk. A tingle charged the air, and the gnome appeared by the baby's cradle, grinning greedily. "Tonight is your last chance," he hissed, already reaching for the sleeping baby. Through the open window, Eveline heard the swallow's song. She drew herself up and declared, "Your name is Rumpelstilskin." A greenish rage flashed over the gnome's face, and he let out a horrible screech that set the baby wailing. You cheated! Someone told you that is not fair! You made the deal, Eveline said, lifting her son from the cradle. You're a liar, a cheat, a thief, Rumpelstilskin screamed. He stamped the ground so hard that a crack opened on the floor. It swallowed him into the darkness below and closed forever, leaving Eveline and her baby safe and sound. The end. That's a fun one. Rumpelstilskin. Hope you liked it. Have a good day.